What's it mean to get invited, and what was today like for you?
Today was good. Being able to come out here and compete with everybody. Have fun. Win reps and just compete with the guys. Today, not perfect. Still a lot of things you need to work on, but coming out here having high energy and doing the things that you need to do, and it's always a blessing to be able to get invited to the Under Armour game. It's things kids dream of, and I was able to accomplish it. So it's a blessing.
As you continue through the recruitment process, what's kind of stood out to you about Ohio State?
Ryan Day, Laurinaitis, and just the brotherhood and relationship that's going on down in Columbus. With the transfer portal and everything happening, Ohio State is one of them schools that shows the brotherhood, and that just stands out to me every time. Also, with the addition of Coach Patricia.
What stands out to you about Coach Laurinaitis and kind of what he's been able to do with the linebackers there?
High production, the things he was able to do with Sonny Styles and Cody Simon on the Reese, it shows, him being able to come from that program, win the buckets, all leading tackle for the Rams. He definitely shows that he's done things that other coaches haven't, and he can produce some of the best linebackers.
You mentioned Arvell. What's kind of your relationship like with
him?
him?
That's my best friend. He was my mentor coming to high school, so he kind of, put me on the map and showed me the ropes. So he's looking at a big year.
Is he ready for breakout year, you think?
Yes, sir.
How much has Arvell kind of maybe not put pressure on you, the right word, but encouraged you to join him at Ohio State?
He encouraged me in every way, but he also encouraged me to make the best decision for me. He's been a close friend of mine ever since I met him. So, he's a great guy and always put the right words in my ear.
Your school has traditionally been a pipeline to Ohio State. How much would it mean to you to join the Glenville pipeline and be part of that tradition?
It'll mean a lot, joining history and being able to write my own side story on the history part. So that would mean a lot.
What has been your overall impression talking with Coach Patricia?
He's an awesome coach, coming from the league, making things, smarter, easier, and funner. You know what I mean? Coach Patricia is definitely DC anybody want to play for, just with the professionalism that he brings.
What have your spring visits been like to Ohio State? What have you really kind of taken away from being able to see the Buckeyes practice?
Just being able to see how things are running this year, coming off the national championship, they're not getting laxed in. With the addition of Coach Patricia, just shows the things that he brings to the table and the way Ohio State is going to be running this year.
What kind of role do you think Coach Patricia, Coach Laurinaitis, what kind of role do you think they envision you playing at Ohio State?
Being able to play the mic, and cutting, and being able to play the mic, the wheel, and coming off that edge and things like that, being able to do everything.
Oklahoma has been another team that's been on you, I guess. What kind of stands out about what they've got going on in Norman?
Coach Venables, he's a great coach, coming from an elite program, winning plenty of national championships, proves in the pudding that he knows what he's doing.
And who are the other schools that you would say are recruiting the hardest besides Ohio State?
It's Penn State and Alabama and Ohio State, Oklahoma.
How do you got along with that new staff at Alabama?
Oh, it's amazing. Coach Chuck and Coach Kane and Coach DeBoer are a lot of great people. And one of my guys, Justin Hill, I know the people that go there. So it's an awesome program, and I've been getting along well with the new staff.
Justin been talking to you about what it's like down
there? Yeah, he's been putting things on paper, so he's kind of showing me how things are run and how things are coming along and how I fit.
Do you have any sort of timeline in place when you want to make a decision?
I'm thinking as of right now after my official visits.
What's this decision ultimately going to come down to you? What are you really going to look for in these official visits?
You know what I mean? Just development. I'm a player that fell in love with the game and not money. So, in this generation, everything's about I just want to be best developed, make it to the league, and surround myself with great guys and that brotherhood. So that's kind of what it's going to come down to, how it feels like family, what I feel like I can stay without transferring. Because, I'm a man of my word, so I don't really look for the transfer portal.
Ohio State just had 14 guys drafted this weekend. What does that mean to you when you see that many guys are going to the
league? They don't lead, the amount of guys drafted for no reason. They put people in the NFL, so that's major development.
What is it about Penn State that has them in this top group of years?
Coach Jim knows he's been recruiting me since 8th grade, and that school is known for producing linebackers. Coach Connor, he's the LB coach, and he played there. So, I also grew up as Ohio State, Penn State fan. You know what I mean? So, just being able to play for the Nittany Lions, and it's a dream come true for anybody.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.